Welcome to another episode of UX News. I'm your host, Omisai, and today I have a beautiful girl from the other side of the globe, right from Peru, Lima, Marina Gold.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure. I mean, seeing a beautiful girl like you, dressed as you are, it's a girl from Peru. You know, it's a long distance.
Right? Like, what is a Peruvian girl doing in Hungary and shooting this type of stuff? Well, so I first moved to Spain, which is closer to here, and I moved to study at university. And at first I was studying.
Can I ask you what you were studying?
Law.
Law?
Yeah.
Wow.
And like in my first year, I was bored in class one day and I was like, what if I do something else too? Like at first I didn't want to like drop out of college, but I was just in class and I was like, okay, what if I do porn? And at first I thought, oh, let me do it with like my face covered or like something like that, because I don't want the people in Peru to find out, like my family, my close friends. But so I googled like how to be a porn actress in Madrid.
Right.
And I found some websites and like you had to send your photos and your information. And I did, and I sent to a couple sites, and one production answered to me, and I went there and I got some information. And at first I thought, oh, this industry is like so dark, probably. Like
dark in which sense?
Because when people from the outside, like outsiders from the industry, like they don't know.
The consumers.
Consumers in general, people who are not us, they see it from outside and mostly they see what they show on the news, like, oh, this girl was abused, this girl was obliged, or this ex-porn star is saying that she just hated the industry, and sometimes we have this type of prejudice against it. So before entering, I was like a little bit doubtful in that area, but once I got into the studio and I saw that everything's so professional and people are so nice and kind, I was like, okay, I actually kind of like this.
Let's stop here for 1 second, because you said that you've heard people who were doing this business, like talent, saying that they didn't like it and they were forced and stuff like that. But as far as I know, if you don't like to do something, you just don't do it, right?
Yeah, but I think that they were saying it in a way of like, it's not a direct force, but it's an indirect type of thing. Because, for example, as what Lana was saying, is that she wasn't directly forced to do some type of scenes, but it's like, okay, if you do this, you get more money, or we offer you more stuff. And it's not a direct force, like, because there's no real forcing, but it's like an indirect type of way of convincing someone.
Yes, I understand. But if you use this kind of a method in our industry, it's viewed as like you're doing bad things. But when you go to a bank to get a loan, it's the same thing. It's like they offer you something, and you have to think and you have to judge, like you are willing to do it or not. Of course, if you like the whole thing and stuff, and you say yes, then you said yes. Nobody put a pistol to your head and said you have to accept this, right?
No, of course. I'm just explaining like the cases of these ex-porn stars who talk about it like that. And now that I'm inside, I can see like the reality as you're explaining. Like no one's actually forcing you, but of course, if you do more stuff, you're gonna get more works and you're gonna get more money. So at the end, it's like you decide, but there's always the options.
So you went to Spain. But I hope you didn't drop out the school.
I did.
Oh, come on.
I liked it, but then I also felt like it was a nice career to study, but then like working on it, I didn't really see myself with it as a job. And also at university, I didn't find myself with the students. I was in a public university in Spain, and in public universities in Spain, it's mostly all Spanish people, and I entered late to the course, so everyone had already made their friend groups, and I was like the new Peruvian girl, and like I didn't get much friends. Actually didn't have any friends, and I was in college for 2 years, so that was already like pretty sad. And I was like, I don't fit here, you know. I just didn't feel like that was my place, and I didn't see it as a bad thing to drop out of it.
Right. Okay. Before getting into porn, were you like sex driven? You were a kinky person, or more like a shy girl? You know, because you never know. You know, we find all kind of type of people in this industry.
Yeah. So I entered the industry when I was 18.
Okay.
So I was like, I had just turned 18, and I think from a very young age I had always like been curious about sex and like how to experience it. When I was younger, I would watch porn and I was embarrassed of it, and I thought like I'm probably like the only girl in the world watching porn, like this is a guy's thing. Like I felt embarrassed, and I would set myself records of like, oh my god, I've been a full week without watching porn, like I'm doing good, because I just was so curious about it. And
it's like an addiction, right?
Yeah, I felt bad. I felt like, oh my god, I'm probably addicted to it because I'm watching it every night because it's so good. But yeah, I think I was really curious about it, and now like entering into the industry, I've been able to actually develop myself in that sexual way a lot more.
Okay, cool. So you dropped out of school and you targeted the adult industry.
Yeah.
Right in Spain, that's where you started?
Yes, in Spain with like more local productions, and then they got me to do some tours in Budapest. Okay. So that's cool.
And when was that? Which year?
That was the ending of 2020.
Okay.
So like the year of the pandemic, like everything happened that year. Everything was crazy. I traveled to Spain to study, then I came back to Peru for the pandemic, then I came back to Spain to study again, and then I dropped out later. It was really crazy.
And since then, like 3 years ago you started, right? Okay. How do you see the whole thing? Was it the right decision to take?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I think I've done the right decision because I like my job and I'm happy and I feel free. And at the end, I think that we're all looking forward to get a job that makes you feel free, that you don't really have any direct boss that's like controlling you over. You have a good earnings. Your job is not as difficult as others, because some people like go on the internet and they tell me like, oh no, you don't have a real job. A real job is waking up at 6 a.m. every day to do this and that. And I'm like, why does a real job have to be correlated with suffering?
Right.
Like why is it like real jobs is waking up every day and suffering and sweating? But like, why? Like maybe a real job can also be doing what we do and getting good money for it, and that should be okay too.
And enjoying it. Yeah. I like this kind of attitude, because I always tell to talents, like, if you enjoy this job, you know, it just makes the whole time fly. You know, you're there, you go to the set, and you're done.
Exactly.
But if you just do it because of the money, and you know, then you know it's like a never-ending story.
Exactly.
So if you enjoy it, then it's just good.
Yeah, but it's true that some people are just in it especially only for the money, and that's like, I think, the part of the industry that makes it a little bit like bad, because you can tell when a talent is just there for the money and like doesn't even want to touch you, doesn't even want to like get too much into making a good product. Because at the end, we're making a product. We want to show off to the camera. We want to do everything for the camera. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm doing it because I like so much the guy. I'm doing it because I want the people that's looking at the video to think that I want them so much. And I think that takes up a lot of professionalism and like wanting to do the right things.
And what was the reaction of your family and friends when they find out?
Yes, so everyone knows
Okay.
in my family, and it was pretty bad because it's like they put all their effort into me going to Spain,
Right.
and then it was like a disappointment for them, and I kind of understand it from that perspective, but at the same time, after that, like they would understand that that's what I actually wanted to do, and that they can't really control me and
Sure.
what I want to do because I'm an adult, and and then when they see like all the stuff that I'm able to do, the fact that I'm able to be independent, that I'm able to buy some stuff, it's like, oh wow, like, well, that's a job, you know,
Right.
like that's actually like a sort of career you can do.
How do you see these last 3 years that you spent in this industry? Did it change your sexuality? You know, I guess it opened new doors and new things that maybe you haven't tried before in your life.
Yeah, I think it opened up a lot of doors, and I've tried a lot of new stuff.
Okay.
And I think it's always interesting to keep knowing more about yourself and finding out more stuff about what you like and what you don't. So, like, personally, sexually wise, I think it's been like really good. And I found people who think the same way as me, and that's always nice to like meet other open-minded people.
What were your things that you never did before jumping into porn and now you're doing? Like you discovered in the industry?
Like probably like a lot of like dirtier stuff when you're shooting. I mean, dirtier in the fact of like slapping and like choking and like a lot of stuff that you would think, oh, I'm embarrassed to try, or I'm embarrassed to tell my boyfriend I like this, and then in the industry it's the average, and it's like, oh wow, like all of this stuff that's like a little bit more kinky and that.
But I think that once you jump in the industry, you realize that communication is a very important part of the sexual intercourse with your partner.
Yeah.
Because more you tell to your partner, maybe more he or she can give to you, and vice versa. I think it's a good thing to be a bit open-minded and just say things that you want to try.
Exactly. I think consent and communication is so important, and we make it so clear in the industry that it's so good. And then you look at people who are not in the industry and they're still having a lot of sex, and like some boyfriends are probably doing stuff to their girlfriends that the girls don't like, but they're shy to say it, or the guys are not doing what girls would like to be done, but the girls are shy to ask for it. So
or maybe the guys are doing it wrong because they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
There's
the same
a lot
thing.
of learning to be done, and if no one says anything, then stuff is going to be the same all the time. So I think we should be a lot less shy and actually start talking about what we want and what we don't, and
just start to talk about sex.
Exactly.
Good. Tell me a couple of things that you did first on the set in porn, and you never did in your life. Some things, I don't know, like being with two girls, being with another girl, like two guys. I don't know what you're doing, so I don't know your.
Yeah. Well, like threesomes.
Okay.
To this day, I still haven't done any group scene or threesome outside of the industry.
Okay.
And I think I'm too shy for it too. Like, it's funny because when there's a camera and it's performers, it's like I'm really confident and I'm like, I really want to do this scene. I really want to do it nice. I want it to look good. But if in my private life they would propose it to me, I would be like shy about it.
Is it a bit like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde attitude? Like when they say action, you just another personality of yours comes out and you're the dirty girl, and when the camera is not there, you just turn back to your normal being.
Yeah, I think definitely.
Okay.
Like with the camera, I'm a lot more kinky and a lot more risky and a lot more daring.
Maybe because you want to bit show off and show things.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just I love to show off and to try to convince the camera. I feel like I'm talking to the guys directly, but in my private life, I like to be a little bit more submissive and like I'm more shy overall.
More driven.
Yeah.
Controlled. Okay. Before, I mean, in the industry, I guess that you also work with the girls, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did it ever happen to you to spend a little intimate time with a girl before jumping into porn?
No,
never tried it?
sadly not.
Okay.
I had never tried it. So yeah, my first time with
And
a
how
girl
was the experience? Because
camera.
I'm really interested. Like there's a girl in front of you, and then you say to yourself like, okay, I have to do this. The camera's on. They say action, and I have to make my move. How was it?
So I think my first scenes were threesomes and not directly like purely lesbian scenes. So I think it was a little bit easier to get used to being with a girl because like there was a dick. But then it's true, it was a little bit awkward at the beginning.
But even though that was a dick, there was also pussy that I guess you had to lick, right?
Yeah.
So how was that?
It was strange, but I liked it. I like trying new things. And then it's funny because I have some friends that are new into the industry and I tell them to make collabs with me, like lesbian videos. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lick your boobs and I'm gonna lick your pussy. And when I start doing it or when I want to kiss them, they just start laughing and they're like, I can't do this. Like, I've never done it. And I'm like, I feel you. Like, it's strange.
But I think it's different on the production because when you do it for your own or for like your own site or OnlyFans or whatever, it's yours. So it's more intimate. It's like you just laugh and stuff like that. But when you're working for a production, you cannot really start to laugh because you're there as a worker. So you have to keep control and do things more like professional, I think.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I mean, I never really had a problem with it, since like the same thing. Like if the camera is rolling, it's like you just forget about everything and you see a pussy. And if the camera's rolling, it's like the best pussy you've ever had in your life. So you just lick it like it's the last food on earth. So yeah, I like to be like very over the top on camera, even though like pussy is not my favorite in real life. When the camera's rolling, I just lick it and do everything so that it looks good, so that you have a good product.
So because if you like this, it's not the same
but
effect.
There's some girls who are still like that.
I know.
In a lot of lesbian scenes or threesomes. The other time I was with a girl and she didn't want to like suck the dick after it went in my pussy, and I was doing it when it came out of her pussy, and of course it's not my favorite taste, but it's like, let's do it like this. Let's do something good looking. Let's make it look like we like it, right?
Luckily for us, we have people like you and we enjoy our industry and we enjoy our job.
Yeah, I just love to like to finish the scene and say, I did a good scene. Like this scene was better than the last one, and this one was better than the last and the last and the last one. So it's like you're always getting better, and it's like a job, right? Like you're always trying to do your best. It's not like, oh, let me finish this scene, get the money, get out, forget about it. It's like, okay, what I did in this scene that I didn't like, maybe next time I can do it better. Oh yes, it's like trying to always do nicer videos.
How do you see yourself like in 5 years' time?
In 5 years, I'm gonna be 26. Oh my god.
Oh my god, 26.
God. I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know. I would see myself retired, like not shooting professional scenes anymore, because even though I like it, I would like look forward to like find a more established life. And I think with this job it's a little bit hard from the traveling, the having so many sex partners.
Yeah.
And all that. So I think I would like to have a little bit more of a tranquil life. So probably like try to establish somewhere.
What do you think? Will it be more difficult for you as a porn talent or an ex-porn talent to find a partner in your life? Or would this help you?
So I don't know. It depends a lot. I think it's gonna be harder.
Okay.
Anyway, like if the partner is not in the industry, it's always gonna be harder, especially if you're actively shooting. But even
Right.
if you used to shoot, still your naked image is on the internet. So a lot of guys like would not like that. But I've also met guys who like don't care. So it's a lot about the guy and how confident he is. Because if he's like confident enough, he's got his life solved, everything's good with him, and he doesn't care what the rest thinks.
But yeah, but are you in a relationship right now, or you had relationships since 3 years?
So I used to have a boyfriend in the industry.
From the industry?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
A Spanish guy?
yeah.
Okay.
And we broke up, and then after that I haven't like had any boyfriend. But anyway, like even without me trying to find a boyfriend, everyone's so like when I post some videos on Instagram and I say, oh, I wish I had a boyfriend, like who wants to be my boyfriend, you know, for the fans, just silly little videos. A lot of haters are like, oh, you're never gonna be able to find a boyfriend with your work. Like no real guy would ever have you as a girlfriend. Like a lot of guys are so mean.
That's bullshit.
And then I'm like I would like to be with you, like a little piece of yeah. So at the end, like I think there's a lot of prejudice out there, especially from more conservative people. But as new generations grow, I think we're being a lot more open-minded. So
well, just look at the quantity of models on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like, you know, someone is working in a shoe store. At night, she posts her videos on OnlyFans to make some more extra money. You know, it's
exactly.
I think it's changing a lot.
Now it's a lot more common, so it's getting a lot more acceptable.
Cool. Okay, let's play a little thingy here. I have to ask you 10 questions, and you have to give me an answer right away. Size or technique?
Size.
Okay. Anal or pussy?
Pussy.
Do you do anal?
Yes.
Okay. Anal or DP?
Anal.
All right. Shaved or with hair?
Shaved.
Okay. Young or mature?
Mature.
Okay. Top or bottom? Up or down?
Top.
Okay. Girls or boys?
Boys.
Boys. Okay. 3 sub questions. Who kiss better? Girls or boys?
Who what?
Kiss is better.
Boys.
Okay. Who looks better?
Boys.
Sex with?
Boys.
Okay. Okay. OnlyFans or productions?
OnlyFans.
Okay. Natural or silicone?
Or what?
Natural or silicone?
Oh, natural.
Okay. This is from the guy's point of view. Natural or injected?
Natural.
Okay. So, an extra question for you. 1 or threesome?
Threesome.
Okay. Threesome. So you're into it.
But with 2 boys.
2 boys.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you really have to be specific on that, right?
Yeah.
2 boys, not 2 girls and a guy. No, but 2
Please.
boys. Okay. Cool. You're traveling a lot, I guess, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I don't like about the industry, is that you have to travel a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of hard to like establish somewhere. And I really like to have my routine. I like to cook. I like to take care of my dog. I like to have time to relax. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes with all the traveling, it's a little bit hard. So that's why I'm looking forward to like salvage somewhere
Mm-hmm.
and be a normal person for once.
But how do you travel? I mean, you just fly over a country for one scene, then you fly back, or you say, okay, guys, I'm doing like 2 weeks period here, 2 weeks period there. You do your scenes and you go back home. What's the routine? What's the plan?
Basically, sometimes I can travel for one scene and then come back home.
Mm-hmm.
Or even when I'm at home, sometimes there's a lot of shootings there. And when you have a shooting one day, it's impossible to do anything else than just to shoot. Like, it really takes up your whole day. Or now that I've come to Budapest for a month, in 1 week I went to Prague 2 times. And it's like the 7-hour trip there, 7-hour trip back. And then 2 days later, another, again, 7-hour trip there, 7-hour trip back. So that's what I think really exhausts you.
But is this your first time here in Budapest, or you've been here before?
No, I've been here before. So yeah, I mean, I like it because I love to perform, but it really like leaves you very exhausted. Even though it's not the hardest job, I think it's a little bit like the modeling industry, where you have to make a performance and try to look good all the time, and the positions that we get in at the productions are so uncomfortable. Like, your arm hurts, your back is hurting. The other time I was in a set and the producer said, the more uncomfortable you are in the position, the better it looks. And I'm like, you know your shit. Like, that's so right.
But tell me the truth. At home with someone, you're having sex, how many positions do you do at max?
Like 3.
Like 3, no more. And they're all comfy, right?
They are, of course, really comfy. Yeah, you're not like, ugh. Because in the doggy style, you can, when you're doing it at home, you can just lay your head on the bed, but in the positions you have to like.
And you don't have to think about the camera and light angle and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And like they tell you, look back at him, and like you have to break your neck. Oh yeah. I think I have like, after shooting so much for 2 weeks now, I'm like, my neck and back hurt a lot more than my pussy, like, because being like this all the time.
So you have to go to a physiotherapist, right?
Yeah, I actually was looking forward to get a massage or something. I need something, yeah.
Talking about home sex, you told me that you watched a lot of porn when you were at the beginning of your career in 17, 18. Did you had any idols from porn?
Kinda. Well, my idols, so-called, I think, are most American.
Okay.
So that's a problem, like the European industry and the American industry are like a little bit separated.
Right.
But I think it would be like Johnny Sins.
Okay.
Oh, I got to work with one of my idols, but she was my idol as soon as I entered the industry, because we both entered kind of at the same time. But she just skyrocketed like crazy, and I love her. It's Angel Youngs.
Okay.
For me, she's so pretty. She has like the hottest big boobs. I love her. And I got to make a collab with her, so I'm like completely realized that's my life.
Dream come true.
Uh-huh.
Well, this is what I wanted to ask, actually. Is like, you told me that you wanted to establish like a quieter, more, normal life later on. Do you see yourself with an outsider? Because, of course, porn talents, they tend to know. The question is, are guys outside of the industry are capable or not? Because you have a big smile on your face. Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Maybe we have to teach them.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot. Guys have a lot to learn. But that's like a good thing, because at least I know what I like. I know how to do it. So I'm able to teach all the needed guys.
Okay. All right. But you told me that you're more a sub, right?
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
So the guy has to know.
That's the thing. Like, if I'm with a guy and he doesn't know how to do it,
Yeah.
even if I want to ditch him or I know how to,
Boring.
I'm not gonna do
Yeah,
it. I'm not
I
gonna
know.
tell him do this, do
Yeah.
that. I'm not gonna do it, and it's gonna be bad at the end. But it's not my fault. Guys need to watch more porn.
Guys, watch more porn. All right. Marina, thank you very much for coming. It was a pleasure having you. A beautiful girl with a beautiful body, beautiful clothes, everything.
Thank you.
It's something delightful. And I really hope to see you next time.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.